Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/ProRevenge. In today's episode, was asked to not speak unless asked to, so I did or rather did not. Another story from the theater. Yeah, you can have your damn project, have it in shitty Spanish too. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Was asked to not speak unless asked to, so I did or rather did not. This story starts a month or so before the March of this year, let's call that BC. I had just joined a precision stampings company for an internship, and what they basically manufactured was washers, shims and spacers from cold-rolled steel. They used about 34, 60 to 150-ton mechanical presses, and had specific dies for each part. To make it simple, they had glorious punching machines with different sizes holes to punch. I had a manager above me whom I reported to, and he was basically a work of art in his own way. Regularly ignored chain of command, carried himself like the king of the castle, regularly demeaned jobs of people below him, and had a blatant disregard for safety. He looked after the whole production, and I guess it normal for people in top positions to get their heads stuffed with the wrong stuffing. I judged this pretty early on and never got in his way, and did what I was told. Now little intern me was learning the basics, and little things about everything, and spent most of my time on the shop floor watching operators do their job and study each process, and the tools. The tools were unique punches for a specific part and couldn't be replaced easily. Now BC, it was normal for customers to give urgent orders with deliveries to the tune of 2 to 3 days as compared to the usual 2 to 3 months. This one customer, let's call them GG, a major automobile spare parts manufacturer, had the habit of doing just that, and our company manufactured the part within a few hours and always delivered on time. Because of this, the customer always stuck to us. During the first few days of my internship, the order dropped, and I got to see the turmoil needed to reach the deadline in 2 days. I watched every step of the process and saw it through the end till dispatch. Now it so happens that an experienced operator had just joined our company and didn't have an idea of the little things of the workings here. He got to work on the part, and after he was done he removed the tool, and had no idea about the designated place for the tool to be kept. I told him about the racks with numberings for each unique tool to be kept. Meanwhile, I get down to work and forget about it. He comes a few minutes later and tells me that he couldn't find the exact place for the tool, and hence kept the tool in a place, equivalent to keeping a book behind a shelf, for the time being until he tells someone puts it in the right place. Fair enough. Then something happened a few days later, and we went into a lockdown. Jump to after something happened in a country to cause lockdown, let's call that AC. The company has been closed for about 2 months, and we were working on about 30% of the original workforce, which was mostly machine operators. I had just graduated from my engineering and was looking for a job. They laid off some people in top positions, and as a result, I got promoted to the position of production supervisor. Basically, they needed someone who knew everything about the processes and production timings of operators, which we most definitely not me, but I came for a cheap price, and hence bippity bop pity a wild OP appeared. I tried my best to live up to it, and took me about a week to get used to the pace. The manager kept bypassing me to contact the operators, and have them orders without me knowing, which caused a lot of confusion. One day, that is the day before yesterday, he held a meeting to decide the production schedule that we were going to follow for the rest of the month. I don't know why the meeting was held, because the production planning department gives us the schedule every week. So I say just that in the meeting. I regret waking up that day. He felt undermined in front of the production staff, I guess, which caused him to just go off on me. Scolded me for interrupting my senior and talking out of turn, and not knowing enough about the company to even talk in a meeting. Also to keep my gob shut and open it only when asked to. Fair enough. Guess I was just there to look after the small jobs. The meeting finishes and I keep out of his way for the rest of the day. Just before my shift gets over, GG company drops the purchase order for their part. I saw it, read it, and as I wasn't qualified enough, decided to send it to my manager. Now company policy dictates you to let me know about overtime at least an hour before my shift gets over. Me being incompetent, forgot to send the schedule to the manager until a few minutes before the overtime deadline just to be safe. I knew the delivery was for 2 days later, so they had to get going early. The manager starts barking orders. Trek me to wait overtime, I refuse, mention the company policy, and get scarce from his usual working space. There was some commotion around there, but my shift got over. I go home, sleep, come back to work the other day knowing that it was going to be a long day with probable double shift for me. I came prepared with the provisions. You people are smart enough, you know where this is going, so here's wrapping it up fast. Before I left, they couldn't find the tool they needed for the job, hence the commotion. The operator who kept it there was fired, and the company, knowing that they did it in bad faith, didn't call him for the location. I come back the next day, they still haven't found it. They have started developing the tool from scratch, and had to call in the tool designers. They obviously had no idea that I knew it. We wouldn't be here if my manager had simply asked me. But I was to open my mouth only when asked to. So I didn't tell them. I called the operator and told him to tell the company that he kept the tool in place just in case. The day gets by smoothly for me until lunch, when the manager suddenly sees me. He tells me in working a double shift, and I say okay. He didn't ask me about the tool. I said nothing. This was yesterday BTW. The tool they made breaks down within an hour. The hunt for the old tool begins. Nobody asks me anything. Fair enough. I keep working on the rest of the production line. My first shift gets over. They have looked under every stone in the factory. It's almost midnight. Everybody is tired. My manager hadn't slept since the order came in. Now it's apparent the order wouldn't be completed, but they still keep on searching. Now to the point that I'm writing this in real time. I slept in my office, a nice 6 hours. The manager was too busy to notice me. Woke up and got ready to leave. But decide against it. The delivery was supposed to be at 9:30 a.m. today. It's 3:30 p.m. now. They have told the customer they won't be able to deliver due to lack of raw material in lockdown era. Probably lost a customer. The manager hasn't slept in 2 days. I've completed almost 3 shifts, and would be paid double for the overtime. I have just come from the manager's cabin. This is how it went. Not sis. Me, may I come in, sir? Manager, what do you want? Me, did we complete the schedule, sir? Manager, what does it look like? Me, I guess not. Why though? Manager, were you under a rock? The tool was missing, and we broke the new one. Me, if you don't mind me asking, sir, which tool? I haven't gotten used to the nomenclature yet. Manager's TN5386GG, what even have you been doing all this time? All the production supervisors were on the floor looking for the tool. I didn't see you once. Me, you asked me not to speak unless asked to, sir. And if I'm not wrong, is that the tool that's on that place? Manager, what even are you talking about? We don't keep it there. Me, well, that's obvious that we didn't keep it in the usual place, isn't it, sir? Should have asked me. Manager, I don't think you even understand what's going on here. That must be a different tool you misjudged. I'll show you what tool that is. We go over to the place, and sure enough, it's the same tool. He immediately started yelling and calling for some people, and I make myself scarce. Safe to say that I might get fired, but I live this moment, and I have a college admission in my hand. Another story from the theater. Just clocked off from doing this only an hour ago. Our theater has a new GM who feels like managers need to work in every department with equal frequency. Well, not everyone is cut out to work in the snack bar, and it stresses them out a lot. Well, one such manager was working in the snack bar tonight, while I was working in the cafe, an area adjacent to the snack bar that serves ice cream, coffee, and alcohol at some locations, which falls under the snack bar department but only has one person working it most days. While I was in the stock room gathering things I needed in between customers when my manager calls me over the walkie to let me know I have a customer waiting for me. I rush up to my area and he's already helping them. When he finishes, he turns to me and says, when you leave you need to let someone know because that customer was waiting for like 10 minutes, which no, they weren't. So now, anytime I set foot outside my area, I called him over the walkie to let him know I was leaving. Hey, manager, I'm stepping out of cafe to get some ice. Hey, manager, I'm leaving cafe to put the ice bucket back in the cart. Hey, manager, I'm leaving cafe to help snack bar on popcorn. I made sure that I needed to make a separate trip for each individual task. This went on for upwards of 6 hours, and to my manager's credit, he stood by his instructions and never told me to stop. The other assistant managers and the senior managers were all laughing every time I made a new call though. Yeah, you can have your damn project, have it in shitty Spanish too. So I'm currently doing an internship in a Latin American country for an advertising agency, for which the company basically did zero planning, so when I showed up they had to invent random things for me to do. One of those things was a research project on the impact of globalization on the country I'm in. I knew that this project was going to provide zero value to anyone in the agency, and they were just giving it to me as busy work. Everyone else knew this to be true. But my boss decided to pretend it was really serious and continually just try and pressure me to do it in ways that were just lying. Like James, the boss of the whole office, is going to be furious if this isn't done. Like, he does not give one fuck about this project. It is useless, and he and I know it. Anyway, I'm currently studying history and politics, which means I'm fairly used to writing long essays about this kind of shit. I decided, if you want a project, you can have a project, but it's gonna be more than you asked for. I ended up writing 22 pages, with 8 dedicated to the history of globalization, a fairly minor question in the assignment. The catch? It all has to be written in Spanish, which is my second language. So I wrote all of that in English, then translated it all myself. Now my boss has to read through every line and correct it, which will take hours, or admit that no one ever cared and leave it be. Mwahahaha. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.